great opportunity for you to have a lot of your health questions answered. Share this link with all your friends, your family, your contacts. This is vital information. So I'm ready to go when you are, John. All right, here we go. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. Glad you're with me today. Hey, holidays are coming. And I'm going to talk today about depression. These sneaky little things that can trigger depression. Because I'm seeing it already. I'm seeing it with so many patients, with people I know, friends. They're starting to drift into this different way of being. And it's early signs of depression. And many times you don't even realize it. Well, my boss is a jerk. I don't like my spouse. I got to find a new job. I'm not happy with whatever it is. And in reality, that's not the problem. You think it is, but it's not. And it could be signs of depression, and especially for people going through a midlife crisis. And that goes for men and women. A study did 2 million people found that middle-aged depression is all over the world. It peaks around 40 for women and 50 for men, and usually starts to lift around 50 for women and then around 60 for men. The reason is people are going through a change in life. They've cut their teeth. Many times they've had their children. Maybe they've been married. And this is a new phase in their lives. Also, the hormones change. Around 40 and 50 for men and women, your hormones are different. You know, I talk to my friends. We can't do a fraction of the things we used to do when we were 19. A friend of mine just sent me some pictures from college the other day. So I'm cleaning out my attic. Look at these cool pictures I found. Oh, my gosh. It was amazing. I forgot that that's what life was like. And you had more hair, and you had more muscles, and you had more energy, and you could stay up late, and you could wake up early, and you could eat bad foods. Life is changing. It's okay. But you have to acknowledge the fact that something's happening. If you don't acknowledge it, it becomes a problem. It's just like being an alcoholic. First thing to do if you want to get sober is you have to admit you're an alcoholic. It's okay to admit that you're going through changes in life. And a lot of things happen, especially around the holidays now, that are going to trigger these states of depression. People start fighting, people get angry, people get sick because anger and frustration can weaken your immune system. So we're going to talk about the things that you can do, the triggers, and then the fixes for every one of them. One of the big ones, of course, is overload. So much going on. If you travel, I remember when I had family still, I'm the only one left in my family, but when I had family traveling to go see them and getting to the airport and it was snowing and then getting out and getting to the car if we had to rent the car, and so much stress just traveling to spend happy time with the family. Well, that happy time many times came with a cold or a flu or a backache or an injury or frustration or lack of sleep because it just didn't work like it should have. But there's children, there's aging parents. This is another big issue I'm seeing. The sandwich generation. You have your parents and your kids, and you're in the middle. And that's a real thing. The sandwich generation, what do you do about that? That's a lot of stress. What about your job? You feel sad. You feel worthless. You feel guilty. Women tend to shoulder a lot of that stress on themselves because they have to be the wife, they have to be the mother, they have to be the hostess, and they still have to be the caretaker, and they still have to live their own lives too. So what's the solution to this? This is a really important time for you to start taking care of yourself. Go out for a walk. I did that yesterday, as a matter of fact. There's a beautiful path along a river not far from my house, and I went for a 2-hour walk because it was getting crazy. Things are preparing. You got parties coming up and work environment and, getting ready, trying to decorate your houses. And I said, I needed 2 hours just for some me time. And I didn't listen to anything on my phone. I just walked. I waved to people, petted some dogs, looked at the water, and it was very relaxing and very cathartic as well. But you got to get enough sleep. And here's the thing that happens during the holidays is you don't eat right. Because what's going to happen if it hasn't happened yet, suddenly junk is going to start appearing in your life. Here's some cookies. Here's some cake. Here's a fruit cake. Let's go out for a drink after work. Let's go to a party. Oh, it's an open bar, and they're going to mix fancy holiday drinks. Let's go have some creamy coffee drinks. And you're going to start putting foods in your body that you're not used to, but also too much. And this is why the week after Thanksgiving, so many people get sick. It's the travel. It's the stress. It's the I have to be happy because it's Thanksgiving. But you're also eating a lot of different foods that you don't normally eat. Your body gets used to eating certain foods, and it changes. Your enzymes change. I haven't had an animal product in 39 years. If I were to eat animal products, I don't have those enzymes that somebody who eats animal products every day has, and so I'm not going to respond to it. My body can adapt over time, But when I start throwing turkey and cranberry sauce and stuffing and pumpkin pie, when do you eat that except for Thanksgiving? Never. So your body doesn't know what to do with it and has a tough time digesting it. Plus the stress that goes along with it. Maybe it's one, maybe it's the other, but when you put them all together, that's where the big problems come in. And so you can get overloaded very quickly. Another thing that happens during the holidays, and I see this, I've been in practice 40 years now, is patients start to miss their appointments. I know, Dr. Joe, I need to come in for my adjustment, but I'm going away for Thanksgiving week. No problem. That's okay. But what happens now? You miss your adjustments. Maybe you don't take your supplements like you're supposed to. You're eating different food. You're traveling. You're sleeping in different beds. And the immune system is going to take a hit. It has to happen. That's how you can't. You can't say I'm bigger than that. I'm stronger than that. No, you're changing your environment, and the body has troubles with that. So when you overload yourself, at least stick with your supplement regimens. Stick with your chiropractic regimens. Get out and walk. I remember when I used to go visit my relatives for Christmas. I'd bundle up and I'd go for a walk maybe for an hour every day, out in the cold, up in New York, freezing. But I had to get out of the house just to keep my body moving. So start thinking about some things that you can keep that are known. The supplements are really easy. They travel well with you. And, of course, with chiropractic care, if you're one of our patients, please try to keep your appointments as close to normal as possible. I know it's not always possible, but as close to normal as possible. Other things that can trigger depression. Low vitamins, especially vitamin B12. Because what happens is with vitamin B12, it's so important. And as you get older, you don't absorb B12 like you used to. There's a chemical in your stomach called intrinsic factor. And intrinsic factor allows you to absorb vitamin B12. Well, as you get older, your stomach acid levels drop, so the intrinsic factor isn't as active as it was, and you have trouble absorbing B12. Another problem, and I have to correct something I've said in the past. I always said that 44% of people have something called the MTHFR gene mutation, which means they can't methylate B vitamins. What does that mean? Methylation means you're converting it into a usable form. We do that with hormones. We do that with homocysteine. Homocysteine is an amino acid in the body. You need to methylate it to create cysteine. And so you need to have that methylation process occurring. And many times it doesn't occur. And I said 44% of the people. Well, I Googled it the other day. Now, I don't know how accurate Google is, but it said 60% of people have methylation issues. They can't convert it into a usable form. So you can take a B12 supplement, but most of the supplements out there, I'd say majority of supplements, are what's called cyanocobalamin. Cyanocobalamin, cobalamin is B12, has a cyanide molecule attached to it, cyanocobalamin. Your body then has to take off that cyanide molecule and add a methyl group, it's called, in order for it to work properly. Well, if you can't do this methylation, you can't convert the cyanocobalamin to methylcobalamin, it's not going to work. And so a lot of you are going to be B12 deficient because you can't methylate. That was a lot of chemistry right there, I know. So the solution is very simple for this one. Take a methylated B complex. Take a B vitamin complex that's already in the methylated usable form. Very simple, very easy, very inexpensive, but now you know. Whenever I post something about methylation, inevitably I get bombarded with emails and questions. Methylation, what's that? Never heard of it. How do I know if I can do it or not? You can do a genetic test. And if you do a genetic test, it's about $600. And they swab your mouth. I did the test. And it turns out I cannot methylate properly. I have the MTHFR gene mutation. Or just take B12 supplements. Now, methylation is more than just B12. I understand that. But the B vitamins are going to be key. So one of the supplements I recommend everybody take every day, especially during the holidays, is a B complex. Now, if you go to my website, drjoe.com, that's the one I take. It's in the store sections, Dr. Joe's B complex. Take it every day. If you're going to be drinking, going to go out, have a couple of, throw a few back with your friends, I strongly recommend that you take a B vitamin right before you go. Because one of the things that alcohol does is it flushes out your system. You pee a lot when you drink, right? And so there's a hormone in your brain called vasopressin. And vasopressin prevents you from peeing. We're all producing it right now, or else we'd be peeing all day. When you drink alcohol, the body is so darn smart. the body says, I'm going to suppress my vasopressin, also called antidiuretic hormone, so that I can pee more to flush the alcohol out of the system, because when alcohol gets in the body, it can get into the brain, cause brain damage. So your body's trying to flush the alcohol out of the system by making you pee more. You're also peeing out a lot of your B vitamins. So I shouldn't tell you this, and I'll deny ever saying it, but it's going to be on tape, and so I can't deny it really. If you go drinking, Dr. Joe's B Complex, a scoop of Dr. Joe's Super Greens, and a scoop of Dr. Joe's Essential Source before you go, or at least when you come home. The reason is I want to replace a lot of the nutrients that you're going to be peeing out. You're going to utilize, too. You put a lot of stress on the liver. So Super Greens, for example, has chlorella, and chlorella helps detoxify the liver. So I'm not condoning drinking, but I'm also a realist. I understand you're probably going to do it. So at least mitigate the damage for me. I'll negotiate with you. Mitigate the damage. Super Greens, Essential Source, and B Complex. And they're all on the website, drjoe.com. Super Greens, an essential source of powders. Take a scoop of each, mix it up, coconut milk, almond milk, water. I don't recommend dairy milk. Non-dairy yogurt, coconut yogurt, almond yogurt. Put a frozen banana in. I put a frozen banana in this morning. I felt like getting crazy. And take that every day. If you're going drinking, take a second dose. I said this years ago in a lecture. I didn't want to say it because I'm agreeing that you should be drinking, but I understand you're going to do it anyway. And I got bombarded with emails. Dr. Joe, it's amazing. I felt so good the next day. I haven't felt this good in years. Thank you so much. And I feel bad because I shouldn't tell you what to do to not feel bad, but you shouldn't drink anyway. The other thing I recommend, too, is you drink 3 glasses of water for every drink that you have. And the reason is not only are you flushing out vitamins, minerals, and nutrients, you're flushing out water. So you need to rehydrate yourself. So Super Green, Essential Source, B Complex, and 3 glasses of water for every drink that you have. And if you do that, at least you're going to really, really, really slow down the damage that the alcohol will do. And also you're going to be peeing a lot, so you won't drink as much. That's my thought process. But make sure you're doing methylated B vitamins always, because you don't know, unless you've had the test, if you can methylate or not. And I wouldn't want extra cyanide in my body. Cyanocobalamin, you're going to throw off a molecule of cyanide. Is 1 molecule of cyanide going to do any damage? Probably not. But if I do it every day, it may be an issue. Maybe not, but maybe it won't be an issue. But I always err on the side of caution when it comes to my health. And those are on the website, drjoe.com. Other things that can lead to depression, especially during the holidays, is changes in your sex drive. We're stressed out, we're traveling a lot, we're eating bad foods, and we're eating a lot of foods that have a lot of estrogen in them. Meats, dairy products, cheeses, puddings. And they have estrogens. Animal products have estrogens in them. And that, to save you a lecture on endocrinology, essentially counteracts the testosterone. And so your testosterone levels can drop. Plus you're stressed, plus you're not exercising, plus you're eating bad foods, plus it's the holiday stress anyway. And so you start to notice that your romantic inclination starts to decrease. It's okay. Short term, it's okay. If it starts lasting into January, February, now we have a problem. Or let's assume it's not just holiday related. Let's assume men or women are having issues right now. Now it's normal for it to drop off somewhat, of course. But gentlemen, if you can't perform normally, that's a sign that there's something wrong. That's not the problem. What's causing it is the problem. In fact, we have a protocol I've put together for men. If you go to my website, drjoe.com, just type ED in the search bar, and there'll be a little quiz that pops up. Take the quiz, send it. It'll come to my inbox directly. Nobody else will see it. And I'll send you either an email with some suggestions or I'll call you, and we'll talk about it. And let's see if we could find out why these problems are happening. Sometimes it's medication. Sometimes it's a pinched nerve. Sometimes it's always blood flow. And so what can we do to increase blood flow? My third favorite supplement, I should say, is something called Dr. Joe's Nitric Oxide Support. Nitric oxide is a gas. It's produced in your blood vessels. And you can't take a nitric oxide supplement because it's a gas, but you can take the precursor to the nitric oxide. And we use something called citrulline. Citrulline comes from watermelons. It's perfectly safe. And it converts into nitric oxide in your blood vessels. Opens up the blood vessels to your heart, your lungs, your liver, and your sex organs, for men and women. Now, don't take nitric oxide if you have low blood pressure. Only take it if you have normal or high blood pressure. I take it every day. I have normal blood pressure. I take it every day. I feel great. Gives me energy, gives me clarity of thought. I actually look forward to taking it. I take it before I work out. I get these amazing workouts. If I don't take it before I work out, I struggle. So simple things like this are so important, especially during the holidays. And with high blood pressure, because you get stressed out, the nitric oxide can be helpful perhaps in that area as well. In fact, most of my patients that have high blood pressure, I'll recommend nitric oxide supplements for them. And when they start taking it, and it's amazing because we'll have people with high blood pressure to come in the office, 200, 300, not 300, 200, 250 sometimes as our systolic, which is dangerous, get to the emergency room immediately type stuff. And like, oh no, it's always that level. No way. You're always around 200? Yeah. So we give them some nitric oxide. We wait 15, 20 minutes. We take it again. It'll drop 10, 15 points. Now, again, that's treating the symptom, not the cause, but the cause could be your low in nitric oxide. So we're going to give you the supplements to produce the nitric oxide. Now, blood pressure can also be a digestive issue. The same nerves that control your digestive system controls blood pressure. So we always want to get to the cause of the problem, not just treat the symptoms. But with ED specifically, nitric oxide may be the reason, maybe the sole reason. And if you're taking little blue pills, the little blue pills may not be working because you don't have enough nitric oxide. We give you nitric oxide, you may not need the little blue pill. It's kind of ironic twist there. So that's another supplement that I recommend you consider adding to your repertoire. I would say Super Greens, Essential Source, B-Complex. Everybody should to take them, and then vitamin D. Vitamin D3 is so important. I take it every day. You should too. I'm not out in the sun enough, even in the summer. In the winter, it doesn't matter if I'm out in the sun or not. I'm not going to create enough vitamin D3 to keep my body at the optimum level. Be nice if I was, but I'm not. So I take vitamin D3 with K2. Make sure it has K2. Vitamin K can help with leg cramps. Vitamin K can help clean out arteries if there's plaque buildup. Vitamin K can take calcium from your blood and bring it into the bones instead of vitamin D3 bringing it into the blood and leaving it there. So Super Green, Essential Source, B-Complex, and D3 would be the starter kit. Nitric oxide I would add because I love it. It works great, feel great. And especially if you're getting stressed out with the holidays and your blood pressure is going up, you already have blood pressure issues, try the nitric oxide. I'm just amazed at the results and how many people just swear by it. In fact, I was at the studio the other day and one of my coworkers came by and he says, Dr. Joe, I started taking your nitric oxide. I said, good. And he smiles and he winks at me. He goes, my wife thanks you too. So it's not just for blood pressure and energy. It works for a lot of different areas. So if you're just tuning in, we're talking today about stress triggers, especially during the holidays. Things that are going to happen, they're going to happen. They are going to create stress for you. I promise you. No one is immune when your flight is delayed or canceled. No one is immune when you eat foods that you're not used to eating. No one is immune to sleeping in separate beds and not eating your regular food, not having your regular bathroom habits. All these things can create stress. And so these are not only triggers of stress, but what to do about it. So when I talk about stress on a regular basis, not just the holidays, there's mental, chemical, and physical stress. Physical stress, neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, headaches, blurred vision, muscle weakness. Anybody have that? Raise your hands. Most of you do. Number one treatment for pain, back pain, chiropractic care. Most effective, least expensive treatment. I'm meeting now with workers' comp companies, insurance companies, and big providers, and I'm presenting them all this research that's out there that's saying they can save, depending how big they are, hundreds of millions of dollars by sending their workers' comp cases chiropractic first. If chiropractic isn't the answer, we can always send them out for injections and procedures and surgeries if we have to. But many times we start at that level, and it's not what you need. We could have got it fixed a lot better and a lot cheaper with simple chiropractic adjustments. So if you want to make an appointment to come see us, go to my website, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. We have offices in Marietta, Duluth, Stockbridge, and West Cobb, in the Atlanta area. I get emails from all over the world. I know I just got one today from South Africa. We could always do a remote consultation. We can set that up for you as well. It's real simple. It's very inexpensive, and we can have a one-on-one, you and I. So if you want to make an appointment, and I think you should, drjoe.com. Normally, the first visit is $940. For you, my listeners, I've reduced that to $299. That's an exam, x-rays, consultation, first treatment going over the x-rays, and a complete nutrition evaluation on a follow-up visit. So we want to find out what's wrong with you so we can determine what's going to be the best course of treatment. Is it us? Is it supplements? Is it chiropractic? Is it psychiatry? Is it an orthopedist, neurologist, urologist, gastroenterologist? I don't know. Let's find out what the problem is, and then I can kind of be the captain of your ship and kind of direct you. Because if I can't figure it out, you can't figure it out. Most times I can figure it out, though. So just make your appointment now. Stop suffering, especially through the holidays. drjoe.com. Let's keep you as healthy as we can for as long as we can. So if you're just tuning in, we're talking about triggers for depression and anxiety, especially during the holidays. A big one, doesn't have to be the holidays, is thyroid. And the reason I throw this in there today is just this morning, I got an email from someone, and I get messages, 20, 30, sometimes 50 messages a day on our website, drjoe.com, with people asking health questions. So obviously there's a need for this. People want to know. If I do a radio show, which I do all the time, every week, and if I open it up to calls, the lines just light up. So many people have health concerns, they don't know where to turn. So you can send me your health question through the website, drjoe.com. Happy to answer any questions. I may have the answer, I don't know, but we'll give it a shot. But a woman said, I'm losing my hair, I'm overweight, I have high blood pressure, I have diabetes, I'm stressed out all the time, I can't digest my food properly, and I'm depressed. What supplement, singular, should I take? And I emailed back and I said, that's bigger than a supplement. Sometimes it's easy. You want some energy, you want some blood circulation, nitric oxide. B vitamins, super green essential oils, and vitamin D. Everybody should be taking that anyway. As a man at my age, I take estrogen regulator, prevent my testosterone from converting into estrogen. Everybody needs omega-3 fatty acids for brain function. All those are on the website, drjoe.com. In her case, I don't know what was causing it. So I said, we need to do a test on you. We need to do something called a Dutch test, DUTCH. And in a Dutch test, it's a urine test. You take it at home. You mail it in. I'll go over the results with you. It's very confusing, the results, by the way. That's why you need somebody to go over it with you. But once it's explained, it's very easy. And we do a Dutch test on the patient. Relatively inexpensive. I mean, it's not cheap, but it's relatively inexpensive. And we can find out not only if there's a hormone issue, but where it's coming from. Did you know there's 3 types of estrogen? There's not just one estrogen. There's 3 types of estrogen. And which one is it? And why is it? Is it not breaking down? Is it not being produced? Is it stuck somewhere? Let's find out what's going on. Why are you not converting your testosterone into estrogen? Or why are you? I'm sorry. And what can we do to stop that if we have to? Why are your cortisol levels so high? Why is it so low? What can we do about that? So that's why I recommend we do some testing. But with a thyroid disorder, I would recommend we do some testing to find out why you have it. She said she has hypothyroidism. That means she's tired all the time. No, this is a different one. I'm sorry. A woman sent me in a 16-year-old daughter. Hypothyroidism. On medication. That's it. So my first thought is, well, what are you doing to help fix it? Nothing. Taking medication. I'm not against medication. It's fine. But what can we do to try to fix it, especially a 16-year-old girl? This is her life? Forever? Maybe not. So do we talk about cutting out wheat and dairy products? Do we talk about getting more iodine in your diet? Dr. Joe's Essential Super Greens, has iodine in it. So does Essential Source, actually. But one of the many things Super Greens and Essential Source has is iodine. And your thyroid and every cell in your body needs iodine directly or indirectly. And so most of us don't get any iodine. So let's dig deep. Let's find out where the break in chain is. And let's find out what we can do to fix that. So with thyroid issues, absolutely positively, we have to start considering sources of iodine like Super Greens and Essential Source. If you go to my website, drjoe.com, just type thyroid in the search bar. We did a whole show on thyroid. I don't want to go down a rabbit hole right now. I almost have to go to break, folks. If you have any questions, send them to me through my website, drjoe.com. Make an appointment to come see us. Not if you'd like to, just do it. drjoe.com. Stop suffering needlessly. So many patients come to me and say, Dr. Joe, why didn't I do this sooner? How come my other doctors didn't send me to you? A lot of doctors do send their patients here, but we're working on that to get the word out. So drjoe.com, all the supplements we talked about, Super Green Essential Source, B-Complex, vitamin D, nitric oxide, men's hormone support, all those are on the website as well, drjoe.com in the store section. Follow me on social media. We post every single day. We've gone viral on all platforms many times. Just look up Dr. Joe Esposito. Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. Don't go anywhere. We're going to be right back. All in one breath. Did not inhale. You got questions, John?
What do NAD levels represent?
NAD, you need niacin to produce it. You can take supplements for it. But NAD helps the cells function more efficiently. And NAD is important for mitochondrial function as well. It's kind of, I don't want to say a new supplement, but it's kind of getting a lot of press lately. So NAD is important, but that's why another reason you want to make sure you have enough B vitamins in it, because NAD, the N stands for niacin, niacinamide actually. So you want to make sure you're getting your vitamin B3. Okay, so that's why another reason Dr. Joe's B complex is important and NAD is important, but you want to make sure you have the precursors to build it. And that's where the B complex comes in. What else?
Should men take Shilajit to boost their testosterone?
I'm not a fan of Shilajit. And I've never tried it. And the reason I'm not a fan of it is because it's not really a plant source. So it's come from rocks or something like that. And I'm just not convinced that it's going to be the best thing for you because of the source. Now, that being said, I've never tried it myself. Also, it's kind of new on the market, so I'm not sure if you're going to get a good source of it. So I know my supplements. I know where they come from. I know they're third-party inspected. I know they're made in the United States. I know that. These other products, I don't know what you're getting. So as of right now, I'm not buying into the Shilajit bandwagon quite yet. I may in the future, but I'm not doing it right now. So,
What are your thoughts on the shingle shot for those over 50?
oh, don't ask me about vaccines. I don't answer about vaccines. Sorry about that. I think my silence kind of tells you what I'm thinking. So let's leave it at that.
Do any supplements help with the prostate?
Yes. All us old guys are going to get swollen prostates. It is what it is. I don't care if you work out. I don't care if you're vegan. All of us are going to get some type of swollen prostate. It happens. So nitric oxide is important for circulation. Super Green's an essential source, vital just across the board. Vitamin D, extremely important. B complex, again, those four big ones. Super Green's vitamin D, B complex, an essential source. And the other thing with the prostate is it needs to be used. The prostate is like a muscle. It's got to use it or lose it. And I'm not trying to direct anyone in what they do in their lives, but that's one of the things that happens as we get older is we don't use it like we used to, and so the prostate has a tendency to swell a little bit. The other thing you want to check with prostate is the nerve supply in the low back, and this is something nobody talks about. The nerves in the low back control the colon, the sex organs, and the bladder. So if you have neck pain, back pain, leg pain, hip pain, knee pain, chances are you have a pinched nerve. Now, it could be something more serious than that, but usually it's a pinched nerve. So if we can adjust that area chiropractically and open up the nerve supply, that's part of the protocol I use for men with erectile dysfunction. Check to see if there's pinched nerves. If there are, may not be the cause, but it's certainly a contributing factor. It's also the same nerve that controls the prostate. So you want to open up the nerve supply, drink enough water, don't sit on a bicycle seat too much. That can cause inflammation. Super Green Central Source, stay away from those high estrogen foods, the meats, the dairy products. If you smoke, breads, cookies, cakes, alcohol, the big seven: alcohol, meat, sugar, dairy, coffee, soda, and artificial sweetener. I call it the seven deadly sins in nutrition. So what I suggest you do is go to my website, drjoe.com, type in men's health, listen to a show we did on men's health, and then also listen to the 7 deadly sins of nutrition. Everybody should do that, by the way. And so what can I eat? 7 deadly sins of nutrition, so what can I eat? And for you, men's health. And then there's also something I would recommend for you. 2 of them actually would be men's hormone support and one called estrogen regulator. Estrogen regulator prevents testosterone from converting into estrogen, and estrogen is a growth hormone. So I take estrogen regulator every day. I take men's hormone support every day, Super Green Central Source, B complex, vitamin D. We also can do cold laser treatments on the prostate if it's swollen. You need to come into the office for that. When we check the nerves in the low back, we can do a cold laser on the prostate to try to bring down the swelling as well. So there's protocols that we have specifically for prostate. What else?
Every couple of days, I feel extremely fatigued and experience shortness of breath. There is tightness in my chest, but no significant pain. The symptoms usually subside in a couple of hours. What are your thoughts?
Okay. It could be stress. And again, I know not with this little sentence, I don't know. Is there emotional stress, physical stress, financial stress, marital stress, job stress? I don't know that. But stress can make you have trouble breathing. Years ago, I had a very stressful 7-year stint in my life. My uncle died. My father died. It was many, many things happened in my life. And I remember going to visit my mother, and I was sitting at the kitchen table, and she said, "You're not breathing." I said, "What do you mean I'm not breathing?" She goes, "I'm watching you. You're not breathing." And I realized I was holding my breath and grinding my teeth. And so a stressful environment can certainly affect pains in your chest. The other thing it could be is your stomach. If the stomach is pushed up into the diaphragm, you may have heartburn, acid reflux, chest pains, anxiety because it's affecting something called the vagus nerve. So that could be an issue as well. So if you have any digestive issues, heartburn, acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating, diarrhea, constipation, come see us. And we may have to adjust our stomach or pull it down away from the diaphragm. That kicks in what's called the parasympathetic nervous system, and many times that fixes the cause, not just treat the symptom. Another thing you can do when you have those attacks is take a hot towel and lay it across your abdomen. And a hot towel across your abdomen will kick in what's called your parasympathetic nervous system and get your body to slow down and many times beat that anxiety. So that's what I do when people are having panic attacks, when babies were fussy, they won't sleep. If I can't sleep, I'll kick in my parasympathetic nervous system by simply using a hot towel on my abdomen. So, what else got?
That is all.
Different tea today. Chamomile lavender. I like it. All right. Ready for part 2? Another one breath. Hey, folks, Dr. Joe Esposito here. If you just joined me, welcome. If you stayed with me, I appreciate that because I know a lot of you are busy. And I understand that it's tough to take, slice time out of your day. So thank you very much for tuning in. I forgot to mention to you earlier, if you're a podcast junkie, go to your podcast service and type in Dr. Joe for the health of it. Dr. Joe for the health of it. And we put out at least 2 podcasts a week, sometimes more. And, of course, that's free. On my website, we have over 4,000 hours of content, and you can just search the website, and you'll be amazed how much content there is. What are you looking for? Men's health, romance, digestive issues, back pain, headaches. You'll be amazed how much content is on that website, and you can listen to that or read it absolutely free. Follow me on social media. We post every day. On most of the platforms, we post 1-minute posts or less. And on YouTube, we post longer lectures. So what do you like? You like short? You like long? You want a variety? I'm giving you so many different ways to obtain and maintain this information. And what you do with it is totally up to you. But I want to give that to you as my gift to you. So you can go to any platform. Just look up Dr. Joe Esposito. Facebook is the Dr. Joe Esposito, and we'll go from there. So what we're talking about today are sneaky depression triggers, especially with the holidays coming. What are things that can trigger you to slip into a state of depression? Because it's a real thing. Oh, get over it. Suck it up, buttercup. No, depression's a real thing. It changes the chemistry in your brain. Pain is a big one. Chronic pain, rheumatoid arthritis, osteoarthritis, that can lead to depression. And one of the reasons that it leads to depression, I'm board certified in pain management, is patients don't think there's any hope. There's nothing that can be done from my knee, my hip, my joint, my back, my neck. This is my life forever. I'm miserable. I had a patient come in the other day, 20 years old. Anxiety, depression, multiple medications, severe depression, couldn't function in society. And I asked her about her digestive system. It was a mess. And I worked on her. Her mother was there, and I adjusted her stomach. I pulled the stomach away from the diaphragm. Instantly, her white face became peachy, rosy red. And she smiled. Hadn't smiled the whole visit. And the mother looked at me, and I said, look at your daughter's face. And the daughter turned around, and she goes, what did you do? And I explained fixing the digestive system takes the stress off the sympathetic, balances the sympathetic, parasympathetic nervous system. And I said, now she's able to digest her food more efficiently, so absorb her nutrients, so she can fight the inflammation in her body, but also produce neurotransmitters in her brain, help with depression. And she said, this is amazing. Her whole life, she's suffered like this. Now, did I fix it? I don't know. It was one visit. But what a change in just one visit. And the girl smiled on her way out. And the mother looked at me. She said, she never smiles. I said, that's pretty cool, isn't it? So there was hope for this young girl. Because I remember her saying, this is my life for I'm 20 years old. This is what I have to live with forever? I said, hopefully not. So if you have pain, it doesn't mean that's your life sentence. Because there are many things that can be done to naturally manage pain. Again, I'm board certified in pain management. So number one treatment, of course, is chiropractic care, most effective, least expensive treatment for pain. But there's adjunct therapies we can do. If you have foot pain, knee pain, spine pain, shoulder pain, ankle pain, wrist pain, we have a machine called an acoustic wave therapy machine. And it sends really, really fast impulses into a joint, breaks up scar tissue, increases circulation, recruits stem cells into the area. And I've had countless patients over the years been told you need a shoulder replacement, you need a knee replacement. Watch that ankle. It's probably going to have to be replaced at some point. Can't move my wrist. Well, it's probably carpal tunnel syndrome. Let's do some surgery. And we treat them with the acoustic wave machine, and many times it's incredible, the results. I've seen people get full range of motion where they couldn't move their shoulder at all in 2 treatments. Now, not everybody's going to respond in 2 treatments. The average treatments are about 8 treatments total. But that we can do along with the chiropractic care or by itself. We have cold laser. Cold laser, when it first came out, voodoo, red lights, you know what you're talking about. Now they're using it in hospitals. They're using it in senior housing developments because the laser sends light energy into the cell and activates what's called the mitochondria. The mitochondria is the part of the cell that generates electricity. And I had a patient just the other day, seeing one of my other doctors, not me, and I saw him in the hallway. And I said, "How you coming along?" He goes, "Oh, my God, it's a miracle." I said, Dr. Amy was treating him. I said, "Dr. Amy giving you good treatments?" He says, "The adjustments were great. And then she did 2 or 3 treatments of this cold laser on me." He goes, "I feel like a new man." So there's alternative treatments you can do. PRP. PRP is we take your blood, spin it down, take out the growth factors, and re-inject it back into the joint. Works really well for shoulders and knees, along with the acoustic wave and the cold laser. So we have so many adjunct therapies. Nutrition. If you're eating a diet that's high in inflammatory foods, it's going to cause inflammation systemically, your whole system, your whole body, and that can cause pain. It can also lead to depression, inflammation of the brain, Alzheimer's. We're seeing a direct correlation between diet, clogged arteries, and Alzheimer's. The studies are every day seeing more and more come out. Let's increase the circulation to the brain. Let's clear out those arteries. Let's get some vitamin K2 in there to clean up those arteries. Let's get some nitric oxide in there. Let's get chiropractic care to open up the nerve and blood supply to the brain. Let's do exercises like cross crawl, balance exercises to stimulate the cerebrum and the cerebellum in the inner ear. And when we do that, many times there's hope. And it's really cool to see the changes. Now, it's not going to happen in one visit. Don't come to me and think it's going to be a one-and-done thing. Nobody's that good. But let's put together a protocol for pain management, for digestive issues, for nutrition concerns. Maybe you need supplements. Let's do some dietary changes. Let's see what happens. And in most cases, not all, but most, we treat the cause, which gets rid of the symptoms. And people love it. So many times over the holidays, and especially as we get older, you're depressed because there's no hope. I'm going to have pain for the rest of my life. And that sucks. And then the medication, of course, can make you tired, can affect the liver, can affect the brain. So that's another reason why I want you to consider chiropractic care as part of your overall healthcare platform. We accept most insurances, car accidents, sports injuries. I train other doctors all around the world, not only in wellness, but also in car accident cases. Doctors, lawyers, physical therapists, and they take continuing education to keep their license current. They'll take some of my seminars on car accidents. So if you're ever in a car accident, come see us immediately. If we don't have an office near you, let me know. I'll find you a doctor I can trust. There are so many scammers in the healthcare industry, in the legal industry. I don't want you falling for bad lawyers and bad doctors. And it happens every day. You'll get phone calls. Hey, I'm such and such from the National Car Accident Database. Make stuff up. I want you to go see this doctor, see this lawyer. It's a scam. Don't ever fall for it. I was at an event the other day. Some guy came up to me, complimented me on my shirt. We start talking. He says, "Listen, man," he says, "I can get you car accident cases. How many you want?" I said, "What do you mean, how many do I want?" He goes, "We'll work it out, man. I'll give you a good deal." Offering to sell me car accident cases. Let me give you my card, man. Here's my card. You give me a call. I said, "No." I didn't say no. I just said I walked away. But they'll steal the police reports. They'll steal hospital reports. They'll steal tow truck reports. Or they'll get them from come to company and pay somebody illegally. And they'll call you up and try to hook you in. Don't fall for it, please. You're not going to get the care you need. Anyway, got off on a tangent there. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. If you want to make an appointment, by the way, drjoe.com, drjoe.com. We can get you an appointment usually within sometimes the same day. So stop suffering. I know the holidays are here. Don't say I'm going to wait till after the holidays. It's going to get worse over the holidays. January, we are bombarded with patients who said, I had this problem in September, October, November, and it's been hurting ever since, but I just didn't want to take an hour out of my day to come see you. And now the problem's worse. Sometimes it's not even fixable because it gets so bad. Usually it is, though. So drjoe.com. So what we're talking about today are reasons, triggers that can trigger depression, especially we're kind of tying it into the holidays. Hormone fluctuations, hot flashes, life changes, menopause, perimenopause. That goes for men too, by the way. We call it menopause. That's not a joke. PMS, mood swings. All of these things can be exacerbated when you're trying to run around, when you're trying to go shopping, when you're trying to make the dinner, you're trying to clean the house, you're trying to deal with the kids and the family and the stress. And, oh, my God, my uncle's coming. I hate that guy. Yeah, it happens to all of us. It's okay. You're not alone. It's part of the human experience. So if that's happening, once again, we'll do a Dutch test on you. We'll find out where the hormone problems are. Let's get objective analysis on what's going on. We can do a micronutrient test on you, find out specifically what nutrients you're missing. We usually can give you general advice, but sometimes we need to go a little deeper, do a micronutrient test to find out what's going on. Little story I can tell you about myself. I did a micronutrient test, and I was low in selenium. Surprised me. I eat a good diet. I take supplements. I was low in selenium. And right around that time, within a few months, I started going gray. And I started thinking, I wonder if there's a correlation. So I started taking selenium supplements, and don't take too much. It can be toxic. And I took small dose selenium supplements, and my hair came back and wasn't gray anymore. And I had a friend of mine. I've known him for 45 years now, one of my best friends. And he said to me one day, right around that time, he goes, Espo, what are you doing to your hair? Espo Esposito is my nickname, Espo, what are you doing to your hair? I said, what do you mean? He goes, your hair's getting darker. What are you doing, man? You're dyeing it, right? I said, I'm not dyeing it. He goes, come on. He said, I've known you 45 years. I'm your best friend. What are you doing? I said, I'm not. I'm taking selenium. Now, I'm not saying you're going gray because of selenium. I don't know that. We'd have to do a micronutrient test to find out. But for me, it worked. And I have very little gray now. Every now and then there's some gray in my beard, some gray in my sideburns, but really that's about it. And so at my age, I should be totally gray, and I'm not. And so it was a selenium deficiency. So we can do these tests to find out what specifically is going on with you, and that alone can cause depression. Hair loss, going gray, losing muscle mass called sarcopenia. All these things can lead to these problems, but we have answers for a lot of them. Now, we've been talking a lot about busy, family, running around. What about the empty nesters? The empty nest syndrome means that everybody's moved out of the house and you're either there by yourself, you're there with your spouse. You may be going through menopause or menopause. You're going through retirement. That's a big change, and that can make it harder. So this is a great opportunity for you to consider counseling. I am a big fan of counseling. And if you don't know any counselors, send me an email. I'll hook you up with some counselors that I trust. And go through counseling and find out what you can do. You may have to learn to rediscover your spouse. You might have been young when you got married. You might have had kids. Now suddenly you're retired and you have a lot of time with each other, and that can be annoying. So what do we do about that? And so empty nester syndrome can be an issue too. Kind of ties in with loneliness. I read an article the other day, and again, I don't know where they got their stats from, but it said being lonely is the equivalent of smoking 15 cigarettes a day. Now, that seemed extreme, but the more I read about it, it really is depressing. Your brain needs oxygen, stimulation, and nutrition. Those are the three things your brain needs. And when we're younger, we usually have a lot of excitement, a lot of input for the brain. Nutrition may not be the best, but you're younger, your muscles are stronger, you're breathing better. And as you get older, you pay the price for not eating a good diet, not taking supplements. Your body is getting weaker, sarcopenia, muscles getting weaker. Suddenly you're alone, and the brain isn't getting the stimulation that it used to get either. So you're losing your oxygen, you're losing your stimulation. And I know a lot of patients come to me, single older people, and they say, well, I'm single, man, woman, whatever, so I don't cook anymore. So what do? You eat packaged foods, you eat fast foods. I had a post the other day, I posted on social media about microwaves. If you put plastic in a microwave, chemicals can leach into your food and cause problems. Over 1 million views on this one post, 700-800 comments. People don't realize that if you're taking plastic and put it in a microwave, it's going to affect your hormones. It's not my opinion. That's science. And it can affect your hormones. So now you're lonely, you're depressed, you're microwaving your dinners, the plastic's leaching into the food, it's affecting your hormones even further. It's getting worse. I've had a lot of people over the years, I'll say, listen, at least don't use the microwave. Take it out of the plastic, heat it up on the stove. That alone made a difference. I want you to have something raw at every meal. Have a carrot, have broccoli, have cucumbers, have an apple. That alone made a difference. Take Super Green, Essential Source, B Complex, and vitamin D. That made a difference. Chiropractic care opened up the nerve supply and got blood flowing through the body again. Got rid of their pain. That made a difference. So there's so many little things that we can do to change the way our body's responding to our environment and our age. It's real, folks. We're getting older. That's a good thing. I'm glad I'm here. People I know at my age aren't here anymore. So we have this amazing opportunity that we've made it this far. However that far is for you, don't blow it. Take care of that spine. Keep the spine mobile. Keep the joints mobile. Do the proper supplements. Make sure you're getting social interaction. Well, I'm alone. I don't have anybody to interact with. Join a group. Go to a church. Do something. Loneliness is so devastating to your health. Now, some people are introverts and they don't like to socialize. Well, you got to do it anyway because we're gregarious by nature. We're designed to be around people. And even though you're an introvert, find another introvert. Go to a coffee shop and have a tea while at the coffee shop just to be around people. Our bodies function better. Gregarious means we like to be around people. And so we do better in a group setting. Not all the time, not every day. But it's important to not have that loneliness in your life because it can cause so much chemical changes in your brain that can be devastating. So if you're just tuning in, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito. We're talking today about sneaky triggers for depression and now kind of tying it into the holidays. All these rules apply all year round, but especially during the holidays. Type 2 diabetes and prediabetes, huge. When I first got in practice 40 years ago, very few people had diabetes. We had everyone every now and then. Now it's, I guess I can say it's an epidemic. I don't know what the definition of that is, but I think it's an epidemic. So many people have blood sugar issues because we're eating too much sugar. But one of the things that's even worse than sugar are something called seed oils. Seed oils, corn oil, canola oil, soybean oil, cottonseed oil, safflower, sunflower oils. These seed oils, by themselves, if I took a soybean and ate an organic soybean, not that big a deal. But if I want to get the oil out of it, I have to use chemicals and heat to extract it out. We add other chemicals to take the smell out, to make it clear looking. And in that process, this ultra processing that goes on with oils, we create a toxic chemical. High levels of what's called linoleic acid, that's an omega-6 fatty acid, in a processed form. And that can cause so much inflammation in the body, in the brain. But it can also affect the body's ability to utilize insulin. So, I'm eating seed oils. I have a cell. Cell has a keyhole in it. I eat sugar. Insulin is released into the blood. The insulin goes into the keyhole, opens up the cell, and allows sugar in. That's how insulin works. If I eat seed oils, it can clog up the hole so the key can't go in and open up the cell to let in the sugar. So now the cell isn't getting enough sugar or fuel, glucose specifically. It's not getting enough fuel. The sugar builds up in my blood. I have high blood sugar. The sugar can irritate my blood vessels and cause inflammation. And so the body now has to get rid of the sugar. So the body produces more insulin. Well, the keyhole's clogged. Doesn't matter how much insulin I'm trying to stick in that hole, it's not working. So I really want you to consider cutting out the seed oil, especially during the holidays. You're going to get packaged food. You're going to get processed food. You're going to get cakes and cookies and donuts, and they're made with these seed oils. The only oils you should ever have in your life, extra virgin organic olive oil, extra virgin organic coconut oil, extra virgin, or I don't know if they have organic, extra virgin, avocado oil. That's it. Coconut for cooking, olive oil for non-cooking. And that's it. That's all you need. But when you start using these seed oils, these vegetable oils, it's so dangerous, causes inflammation. Body can't utilize sugar. And with the brain uses a lot of glucose. And if the brain can't utilize the glucose, the cells in the brain can't get the fuel they need, and that can lead to dementia, Alzheimer's. That's also called type 3 diabetes. Type 1 is you're not producing insulin. Type 2 is you're producing it but not utilizing it. And type 3 is when it affects the brain. And so I want you to think about this. Every time you use a vegetable oil, don't. It's just that simple. And read the ingredients. If it says corn oil, canola oil is even genetically modified. Corn oil usually is too. You got to stop using them. And that alone can make a big difference. Alcohol, please be careful with it. Okay, I don't drink. I don't understand the allure of drinking. I can't comprehend it. I've tried it. I didn't like it. But many times drinking is part of a party. I can't imagine going to a party without alcohol, right? So the rule is, if you're just tuning in, you're going to take your regular supplements, Super Green Essential Source B Complex and vitamin D, and whatever other supplements I recommend for you in the morning. And then at night, if you're going to go out drinking, you're going to take another dose of Super Green Essential Source B Complex, and that's going to help replace the nutrients that you wasted, and you're going to drink 3 glasses of water for every drink of alcohol that you have. So you can go out. If you're going to drink, do it. And then at least we're mitigating a lot of the damage that the alcohol is doing. And if you have digestive issues, be careful. If you're eating too much food, again, volume of food, the stomach can push up into the diaphragm. That can cause heartburn, acid reflux, burping, gas, bloating. And we may have to physically pull the stomach down away from the diaphragm in order to fix that. So if you have the heartburn, you're taking medication, and medications many times prevent you from absorbing calcium, B12, iron, and magnesium. So what do we do about that? Let's pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. Let's see if we can fix the acid reflux, not treat it, fix it. And then in most cases, you can decide if you want to cut out the medication. I cannot tell you to take medication or not take medication. I can only tell you, let's do the things it takes to get well so that you can decide if you want to, or your doctor can decide if you can come off the medication. That's a better way to put it. But the key here, as we go through the holidays, normally functioning nervous system, normally functioning digestive system, good nutrition. Those are the three things I want you to have to make it the best it can possibly be. There's going to be stresses. There's going to be issues. There's going to be bad food. There's going to be alcohol. I get it. But you can control the nervous system, digestive system, and diet mostly. So if you have neck pain, back pain, shoulder pain, numbness, tingling, come see us, folks. Stop suffering needlessly. Do what we say. One of the challenges I have is after a few treatments, many times patients say, oh my God, I've never felt this good in my life. And then we have to remind them that it's going to take a few more visits to stabilize the body. Don't jump ship too soon. When it comes to supplements, if you get supplements, take them. They do nothing in the bottle. They only do things in your body. I had a patient come in the other day and he says, Dr. Joe, I got that Super Greens and Essential Source you told me to get 3 months ago. I said, what are you doing with it? I had it at home. Doesn't do you any good if it's in the bottle, folks. You got to take it. So when you what I do is I put my supplements right on my kitchen counter. When I wake up in the morning, it's the first thing I see. I can't get around it. I can't do anything until I take my supplements. And I've been taking supplements a good portion of my life, and I still have to remind myself. So I understand. But take the supplements. If you have acid reflux, heartburn, digestive issues, let's check it. Maybe the stomach is up against the diaphragm. Maybe we just need to pull it back down. And now you have a healthcare plan. Many of you have health insurance, but you don't have a healthcare plan. And the plan is nervous system, digestive system, and diet. There's nothing, no disease I've ever come across in my 40 years of practice that doesn't somehow benefit, at least a little bit, from having a normally functioning nervous system, digestive system, and a good diet. Everything benefits by doing that. So why wouldn't you do that? It doesn't have to be instead of, it can be in addition to any other treatment you're doing. But watch what happens. 40 years, I wake up every day more excited than I was the day before. I get excited on the weekends. I can't wait. I got to go to work on Monday. Because I see the miracles happen every single day. People in pain, babies with colic, headaches, blazing migraines, people can't work, romantic issues, digestive issues. Can we fix everybody? No. But we get a really good track record. Very, very, very high results. And very low risk, which is nice too. There's a little risk, but low risk. We take insurance. Medicare, if you're a member of the VA, if the VA refers you to us, they pay for it. I'm on the referral list for the VA. Just make the call. drjoe.com. Stop suffering needlessly. Bring your friends. Bring your family. I'm very excited. In the past couple of years, we're seeing so many more children. Because if children are healthy, they grow healthy. If they're not healthy, it's a lot harder to fix when they're older. So it's really a nice thing that we can offer. If you're looking to what to eat through the holidays, this is a copy of my first book. Well, you can't see it if you're on the radio. It's called Eating Right for the Health of It. It has over 200 recipes in it. It tells you how to change your diet. My second book is called Prescription for Extreme Health. That's another great book. That's kind of the guideline. That's your owner's manual on how to keep your body healthy. And the books are on the website. We can send it to you as a PDF. We can send you actually old school hard copy of my book. There's so many resources that I have for you. And I want you to utilize them. Facebook, Instagram, YouTube, TikTok. Free. Follow us on all the platforms. We post every day. Long platform, short platform. The website, over 4,000 hours of content there. Search it. Send me questions through the website, drjoe.com. Podcast, Dr. Joe for the Health of It. Listen to the podcast every day. People love podcasts. We got podcasts for you. Supplements, chiropractic care, good digestive system. I don't believe they're luxuries. I think they're necessities if your goal is to obtain and maintain good health. And if you don't want to do some of it, if you want to do all of it, you don't have to do everything. Don't get scared. I'll hold your hand and I'll say, let's make this little change first. Let's add this supplement first. Let's change this dietary habit first. And let's see what happens. The biggest complaint I get by far every day, every hour, why didn't I do this sooner? Folks, I'm Dr. Joe Esposito, the website, drjoe.com. Thanks for tuning in. Tell your friends about the show. We'll catch you next time. I still got 2 pages of notes. I only had 4 pages today. I'm sorry. I get emotional. Yes, John. Any questions for me?
How much does exercise contribute to a healthy immune system for those of us over 50?
It's vital, but diet is way more important. I would say diet is probably 85%, exercise is 15%. And that's why supplements, probiotics to keep the immune system strong, wellness booster, seasonal tonic, vitamin D, those are our wellness supplements. I got to remember to talk about them during the holidays too. Exercise about 15%. You need to do it, but diet and supplements are more important. What else?
Does cholesterol in the arteries turn into plaque? Can it be removed?
Cholesterol will turn into plaque only if it needs to. So what happens is I have cholesterol in my blood, so do you, so does everybody. And if something irritates my blood vessels, if I have a bad diet, if I have high blood pressure, stretching the blood vessels, if I eat bad foods, I have an amino acid in my body called homocysteine, and I don't have enough B vitamins to convert the homocysteine into something that's negligible and not dangerous anymore. Homocysteine kind of scratches the artery walls. So does high acid like sugar, scratches the artery walls. Now the body says, I have this scratch, I got to lay down cement to make this artery thicker, and the body lays down cholesterol. That's called plaque. You can have high cholesterol in your blood and have zero plaque. You can have low cholesterol in your blood and have a lot of plaque. So cholesterol is just one way to measure, is there any damage to the arteries? The damage to the arteries is the bad thing. So B vitamins can help convert the homocysteine into something that's benign. Vitamin K2 can take the calcium out of your blood vessels and bring it into the bones. That's why you take D3 with K2. Plant-based diet. Years ago, if you had heart disease, it was pretty much known that there was nothing you can do. And then came along a lot of researchers, Dr. Sinatra, Esselstyn, people like this, and they said, what if, McDougall was the big researcher, what if we change people's diets to a plant-based diet? What would happen? And did experiments. Results were phenomenal. Most people saw a dramatic change in the hardening of the arteries and their heart disease. And so Dr. McDougall was one of the pioneers in it, and then, like I said, there's Esselstyn and there's Sinatra and these other people that came in after him, duplicating the study over and over and over again. Easily duplicatable, if that's a word. So that's why a plant-based diet would really be ideal to help clean out the diet, the arteries. Nitric oxide to increase circulation, K2 to take the calcium out. We're coming out with another supplement very shortly. It's called nattokinase. And nattokinase actually is an enzyme that goes in there and scrubs the arteries as well. So there's a lot of things that can be done, but right now you want to go to a plant-based diet. Go to my website, drjoe.com, and listen to 7 Deadly Sins of Nutrition, and then So What Can I Eat? And there's your starting point.
Can carpal tunnel syndrome be treated or cured?
Yes, in most cases. Again, anything I ever say is never 100%. Carpal tunnel many times isn't the wrist, it's coming from the neck. Pinched nerve in the neck goes down the middle of your arm, the median nerve that goes into the carpal tunnel. It's called a tunnel right there between your wrist bones. And you can adjust the wrist bones. The hamate bone has a little hook on it. If the hamate bone subluxates or goes backwards, it can hook the median nerve, and that can cause carpal tunnel syndrome. So that's where something like acoustic wave therapy comes in. But we check the nerve supply to the median nerve going into the bones. We check the hamate to see if it's subluxated, and then the acoustic wave to break up the scar tissue. And in most cases, we see great results. What else you got, John?
Are there similar benefits between PRP and acoustic wave therapy for knee arthritis?
Yes, and that's why they work very well together. That's what's exciting. You can do the PRP injections it's the growth factor to put into the knee, and then the acoustic wave stimulates that growth factor to kind of activate it and recruit more stem cells into the area. So we can do acoustic wave or PRP, but I recommend both if you have arthritis. What else?
Last night I had walnuts, a banana, blueberries, and pineapple slices. I know that these are all healthy, but is that too much sugar altogether?
No. Because we did a show last week on sugars, and there's good sugars and there's bad sugars. The natural sugars that come packaged, nature puts in a nice little package called pineapple, or fruit, or bananas, or carrots. Those sugars have phytonutrients, vitamins, minerals, nutrients, and fiber that offset the sugar. If you did pineapple juice and carrot juice, then I'd say, yes, it was too much sugar, but what you did was fine.
I've never had bad breath, but in the past 9 months I am getting it. What do I do to digest food better?
I'm going to bet your stomach is up against your diaphragm. And the reason I know that is I have this problem. When my stomach pushes up against my diaphragm, my breath stinks. And people around me who know me that I can trust will say, hey, you need your stomach adjusted. I know what that means. My breath stinks. So many times we need to pull the stomach away from the diaphragm. Then you start digesting your food better, and then the breath gets fresher. So you probably want to come see us for that one. Just go to my website, drjoe.com, and book an appointment. drjoe.com. What else you got?
I've always heard that LDL cholesterol is bad cholesterol, but I've heard recently that as a single marker, LDL cholesterol is not bad.
Correct. That's correct. Yeah. LDL by itself, low density lipoproteins, there's also VLDLs, different particular levels. The LDL is not the bad stuff. It's when it's stuck to the artery walls that it's bad. So LDL by itself is not really, it's just some information, but it's not the final chapter. So what else you got?
That is all.
All right, guys, thank you so much. Please follow me on all platforms, Dr. Joe Esposito. That's your payment for today. That's your cover charge. Follow me on platforms. If you don't like it, stop following me. And tell your friends about it, and I hope to see you all very soon.